Guys, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to Work Guitars. This Thinline mahogany single cutaway is ready for some top coat. Last week, the last episode, we wet sanded. We didn't wet sand. That's not what we did. Excuse me, let me back that up. We made the wood wet so that we could sand it again for the second time, knock down the grain, and to check for scratches. We did that. This is where we are. We finished sanding everything and we put 2 coats of sealer on. Now this is just a vinyl sealer that prepares the wood for the lacquer that's going to come over top of it. You use the vinyl sealer because it's less expensive than the lacquer and you can get a good base coat going, and it helps tighten the wood up so that we can put the grain fill in it. That's what we want to do next. We're going to do grain fill. We're going to use this clear grain fill made by Aqua-Coat. We're going to fill in the grain with Aqua-Coat, and then we're going to hit it with some lacquer, and we may leave it high gloss, or I may come back and buff all that gloss back off with some super fine grit sandpaper down to like 2000 or something. I think we'll probably leave it high gloss. It's going to look pretty sweet. It's looking good right now. As it is, it would actually look good in a satin finish, but we're going to try the gloss and see how it looks. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And the gloss lacquer actually lasts longer in the long run. If you do a satin finish, the more you rub on it, the more it polishes it. And the next thing you know, you have a shiny spot in your satin finish. So they're kind of tricky to do anyway. So in the meantime, this is going to be kind of a, cut video. We'll do a little bit and we'll have to cut, let things dry, come back, spray it, see how it looks, sand it, that type of thing. But this is how we do this Aqua-Coat grain fill. I thought you might like to see that, and you might like to try this if you're into doing some furniture, or I think something flew out of there, but I don't know where it went. If you're into doing furniture finishes and that type of thing, or guitar finishes, whatever you're into. So let's get going on that, okay? I'll be right back. Let me get going. All right, so I'm just going to take some of this and put it on here and smear it out as smoothly as I can, and then we'll let that dry, and we'll have to come back and sand that back down flat. Yes, my ringtone is Mean Street. So this is a little bit of a pain. I'm just going to get my finger in there and spread it around for the moment. Try to get all down in the grain real good. Let me get you a little closer so you can see what we're doing. Hold on. I'm just working this stuff down into the grain of the wood with my finger. And then I'll come back and try and squeegee the majority of it off so we don't have to sand as much. Looks like that's working good. We don't want it to get in those little indentations for the pots. The volume knobs. All right, that looks like that's working good. It's a little tricky in the places where it has a carve because the squeegee doesn't fit in there very good. Okay, that looks pretty good for a first coat. Sometimes you have to do it twice. The finishing is really the hardest part of building guitars, finishing it, in my opinion. Get that out of there. Come back and get that stuff out later. Actually, I just happen to have this tool right here. It'll do the trick. Okay, we'll let this side dry. And then we'll hit the other side. All right? So we will be back. I kind of made a mistake here. I forgot to let it dry before I got up here. Now I don't have anywhere to put it. I got to kind of hold on to it for a little while till it sets up. But I went ahead and just put it on the sides and the back and the front. So you can see everything's got a good coating on it now. And I believe we're good. We'll let this dry. And we'll come back in a little while and sand it. It's looking good. All I gotta do is get the headstock here. I believe we're good to go. Okay, so it's dry. We let it sit for about an hour and it dries up pretty quick. I've already sanded the front. This is what it looks like when it's dry. It's got a little sheen to it. And it fills in the pores really well. You really have to do it a couple of times though in mahogany. But a little trick that I found, if you ever want to use this stuff, is after you finish sanding it with some 320, I just use 320, knock it back down flat again, get all the little bumps and stuff off, you know, because you can't make it perfectly smooth when you put it on. Sand it all back down. You want to get most of it off. You really only want to leave it in the pores. You don't really want to just leave a coat of it on top of the guitar or whatever it is that you're doing. Get most of the dust off, and then I take a wet rag again, like we did before. And I just lightly wipe the residue off. And it seems to reactivate what's in the pores just a little, the moisture, and seal it in. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like it does. It seems like I get a smoother glaze coat with it like that. Or I should say filler coat, not glaze coat. And most of the grain is filled in and we're looking good. So that's where we're at on this. I'm gonna go ahead and finish sanding it, make sure I have all of the bulk of the material off. And then we're gonna throw it in the spray room, put some clear gloss on it and see where we're at. Got a cool little thing we're gonna do on the headstock. We'll save that for a secret. This is just a quick little thing to tell you about this stuff. If you would like to try it, Aqua-Coat. It works pretty good. You do have to do 2 or 3 different coats though, if you really wanna seal the pores up, unless you wanna just bulk on the lacquer and block that back down. Either way, you're gonna have to seal the, the pores. But it seems to do a pretty good job. All right. Okay, so this is where we're at. We sealed it. We put the Aqua-Coat grain filler on it, and now I've hit it with a couple coats of lacquer. Now, if you look like in the light here, you can still see it looks a little grainy. But Aqua-Coat definitely doesn't fill on the first coat. But it does fill in enough to where if you put on 4, 5, 6 coats of lacquer, which you're going to do anyway, because you want to block it down and keep blocking it down until you get it nice and flat so you can get a really nice high gloss finish on there. That's where we're at. So it's getting there. It's not going to take much to fill that grain now. So that's where we're at, guys. Now we got something cool going on the headstock here. I'll show you that in the next video. But in the meantime, this is where we're at. This is how far we've gotten. The Aqua-Coat has been put on. It's been sanded back. And we got a nice coat of lacquer on there, and you're starting to see that carved top in there now. This guitar's got a very cool, sexy kind of curve thing going on with it. And so we'll get this guitar going, and we also have, hold on, let me put this one up so that I don't damage it. Coming next in line on the electric guitars, we have, okay, so coming next up, you'll see coming in the shop, we have Jonathan Brandt's. We got the wolf head inlays done on the fretboard, the neck, getting ready to put frets in here. The body is ready to go. We just need to sand on it quite a bit more. Still have some tooling marks in there we need to get out. But for the most part, she's ready to go. Beautiful African mahogany back. Beautiful quilted top. This thing's gonna really be pretty. Can't wait to see it when it's done. And we have, this lady here is just about done. Almost there. Gotta make a nut, do a fret job, all that kind of stuff. But this guitar will be for sale, so if you're interested, let me know. And I just wanted to say one more time, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing and thanks for hanging out, and then hit the like button if you will, and share it with a friend if you can, if you got any. I got 1 or 2, you might have 1 or 2. All right, we'll see you guys out there. Be good to each other. I'm gonna get back to work. We'll see you out there somewhere. Bye now.